Buckle your seatbelt, Dorothy.
How can you truly enjoy the meal unless you know the flavor? Welcome back, ABL fans. This is Big Earl, your trusted voice in Action Baseball League analysis, coming at you with our 15th installment of Deep Dive 25. Watch your fingers, because we're about to slice, dice, and dissect all the nuances of this great league. A tip of the cap to the sports writer at the Oregonian for your casual and conversational approach to reporting. It's a pleasure to read your coverage that feels like a chat about the team over a cup of coffee. Okay, ABL fanatics, let's do this. Whether it's the Western Wildcards, the Eastern Powerhouses, or the Central Workhorses, we're covering it all. See it for yourself. The Portland Lumberjacks in the Western Division of the ABC, a team navigating a challenging path. Marked by an owner with a tight grip on the purse strings and a penchant for meddling, they're a study in contrasts. Despite a commendable coaching staff and a GM adept in managing limited resources, this team faces an uphill battle. Yet, their resilience and potential hidden gems should not be overlooked. Keep a watch on them, folks. The Lumberjacks might just surprise us all with their tenacity and strategic play. If you're one of those folks who can't get enough of the nitty-gritty, the ins and outs, the ups and downs of ABL baseball, then this deep dive is for you. It's like opening a box of Cracker Jacks. You never know what treasure you're gonna find. Grab a cup of artisan coffee and tune up that indie guitar, because we're diving into a team as eclectic and vibrant as Portland's famed music scene and its lush, green landscapes.
Question 1. How does the owner's personality and negotiation style influence the team's culture and performance?
Criswell's conundrum, the Lumberjacks' dilemma of penny pinching and meddling. Ben Criswell, the 66-year-old owner of the Portland Lumberjacks, is a walking contradiction that's putting the team's future in a stranglehold. With 28 years in the game, you'd think he'd know better than to be a penny-pinching, meddling force in the organization. His unhappy mood is the dark cloud over the ballpark, and it's no wonder with goals like playing .500 ball and improving the team's batting average, ambitions that seem empty when you're not willing to open up the checkbook. GM Ben Hader and hitting coach Chris Hamilton? Skilled guys dealing with a bad hand. They've got reputations and experience, but what's that worth when the man signing the checks won't let them steer the ship? Until Criswell changes his tune, this team's swinging at air.
Question 2. What roles do the front office and coaches play in the team's success or struggles? Are they aligned with the owner's vision?
Front office versus owner, a tale of mixed signals and muddy waters in the Lumberjacks camp. Alright, ABL fans, let's talk turkey about the Portland Lumberjacks. You've got GM Ben Hader, an architect in his own right, trying to build a winning roster. But, there's the rub. His hands are kinda tied by owner Ben Criswell's purse strings and mood swings. Then you have hitting coach Chris Hamilton, the batting maestro. He's got the chops, but with Criswell's gloomy outlook, who knows how long he'll last in the dugout. Scouting coordinator Ken Duckworth's been in the game long enough to spot talent, but can he pull in the big fish with Criswell being tight-fisted? And the other coaches, bless them, they're down there in the trenches, but they're also under Criswell's unhappy thumb. Bottom line? These guys know the game, but they're navigating a ship that could hit an iceberg any minute if Captain Criswell doesn't steer clear. What a conundrum.
Question 3. How does the team's financial health reflect in its performance?
Moneyball or money pit? The Lumberjacks' financial tightrope act. Alright, ABL aficionados, let's crack this nut. The Portland Lumberjacks are, financially speaking, skating on thin ice. Payrolls ranked 23rd, just a smidgen under their budget, which ain't much to write home about anyway. Total revenue? More of a whimper than a bang. Despite a fan interest uptick and a loyal, but not large, fan base, they're not filling the coffers or the stat sheets. Look folks, the numbers don't lie. You can't play in the big leagues when you're pinching pennies. Even with 91.87% of the seats filled, you can't turn chicken feed into chicken salad. So there you have it, the Lumberjacks are running a financial tightrope, and it's showing in their game. Is there a game plan?
Question 4. How has fan interest evolved over time, and what does it mean for the team's revenue and player acquisitions?
Fan fervor meets fiscal fumble, the Lumberjacks conundrum. Let's get into it, ABL fans. The Portland Lumberjacks are in a pickle, no doubt about it. Fan interest? On the rise, my friends, jumped 10 points in a year. But here's the kicker, that newfound buzz ain't translating into the kind of cash that lets you snag the big names off the trade block. The revenue's more like pocket change than a treasure chest, and their payroll? Don't even get me started. It's so tight it squeaks. So yeah, the fans are getting interested, but until owner Ben Criswell decides to turn those cheers into dollar bills, the Lumberjacks are just gonna keep spinning their wheels. So what's it gonna be? Is this the year they finally break the cycle, or is it just another season of coulda, woulda, shoulda?
Question 5. What is the current mood among the fan base, and how could it impact the team in the short term?
Fanbase fever, the double-edged sword of rising expectations for the Lumberjacks. Hey there, ABL diehards, let's wrap a minute about the Portland Lumberjacks fans. They're loyal, filling nearly 92% of the seats, and getting more intrigued by the day. Fan interest's up 10 points, folks. Short term, this could be a game changer or a heartbreaker. More fans in the seats could mean a bit more jingle in the team's pockets and a morale boost for the guys in cleats. But listen, this puts the heat on owner Ben Criswell. The fans are putting their butts and their hearts on the line. They'll want to see some love back, maybe in the form of a hot trade or two. And don't forget the media. If the fans are buzzing, the reporters will swarm. So, the ball's in the Lumberjacks' court. They can ride this wave of fan interest to glory or wipe out trying.
Question 6. How is the team faring in the league standings, and what factors are contributing to their performance?
Sliding into obscurity, the Lumberjacks struggles in numbers and morale. Alright, ABL diehards, let's chew the fat on the Portland Lumberjacks. Brace yourselves, it ain't pretty. They're sitting at a woeful 6-13, with a winning percentage that'll make you wince, 316 folks. Playoffs? Ha! Their odds are slimmer than a bat's handle. And get this, they've been outscored by 37 runs. Their ELO's nosediving faster than a curveball in the dirt, down nearly 9 points in a month. As for WAR, well, let's just say they're barely a step above fielding a team straight from the minors. In short, the Lumberjacks are a hot mess, and unless someone finds a magic wand, they're on a one-way trip to Palookaville. They're in desperate need of some bright ideas for turning this ship around.
Question 7. What are the team's odds of making the playoffs on a divisional and conference level?
Lottery ticket dreams, the Lumberjacks' playoff hopes on life support. Hey, ABL aficionados, let's talk Portland Lumberjacks and their playoff odds, or should I say, their lack thereof. Listen up, they've got a 1% shot at taking the division and a barely their 2.6% at the conference level. Yeah, you heard that right. If you're a Lumberjacks fan, those odds are about as comforting as a rain delay in the bottom of the ninth. They're not just long shots, they're half-court buzzer beaters with a blindfold on. Unless they find a four-leaf clover field, the postseason is looking more like a daydream than a game plan. So, what's it gonna be, Jack Attackers? Got any rally caps left?
Question 8. How do base runs and ELO ratings paint a picture of the team's true strengths and weaknesses?
The grim tale told by base runs and ELO, Lumberjacks in a slide. Alright, listen up, ABL fans. We've got some numbers on the Portland Lumberjacks that you might want to sit down for. Base runs and ELO ratings, those ruthless truth-tellers, are painting a pretty bleak scene. Offensively, they're a flatline, 77 runs scored, right on par with a less-than-stellar expectation of 76. Yeah, they're consistently mediocre, but hey, consistency's a virtue, right? Now, let's talk defense. They've given up 114 runs, 8 more than what the doom and gloom forecast predicted. That's like expecting rain and getting a monsoon. And as for ELO, they're sinking like a stone, down 8.8 points in a month to a miserable 1,466.3. In layman's terms, they're not just losing, they're underperforming against teams they should, at least, put up a fight against. So, there it is. Have they got a miracle up their sleeve?
Question 9. What does the team's WAR indicate about its most valuable players?
Scouring for diamonds. What WAR tells us about Lumberjacks' bright spots. Alright, ABL fans, let's get down to brass tacks on the Portland Lumberjacks' wins above replacement. We're talking a total WAR of 1.32. Yeah, you heard me, 1.32. It's like saying your jalopy's got a top speed of 40 miles per hour. It ain't bragging if it's sad. But here's the kicker. The pitchers are keeping this rickety roller coaster on its tracks with a WAR of 0.97. They're the candles on a sad birthday cake, giving fans something to wish upon. Now, the batters? A paltry WAR of 0.35. But don't toss them all in the scrap heap. there's gotta be a couple of gems and they're holding the fort. So, the tale of the tape says the pitchers are the MVPs, and the batters? Well, they're like a mystery novel with a couple of good chapters.
Question 10. How have injuries impacted the team's performance and depth?
The injury bug bites hard. How health woes hobble the Lumberjacks. Alright, ABL aficionados, let's talk battle scars. The Portland Lumberjacks are limping like a three-legged dog, ranking 5th in the league for injuries. They've got 4 guys riding pine in the infirmary, racking up 70 disabled list days. That's not just a stat, that's a kick in the gut for a struggling team. And hey, don't shrug off that $58.6 thousand on the DL. In the tight-fisted world of the Lumberjacks budget, that's a decent chunk of change that ain't going to scouting or mid-season pickups. Injuries are draining this team's already shallow talent pool, forcing the skipper to juggle lineups like a circus act. Long story short, injuries are the salt in the wound for a team that can't afford to lose any more ground. So, how are they digesting this bitter pill?
Question 11. What do the team's batting statistics reveal about its offensive capabilities?
Swinging for the fences, hitting the wall, a look at the Lumberjacks' offensive woes. So, here's the deal, folks. If the Portland Lumberjacks were a rock band, they'd be playing in dive bars, not stadiums. We're talking 77 runs, a .248 batting average, and an OPS of .694. Not exactly numbers that'll get you on a Wheaties box. They've got 15 dingers and an ISO of 125, so forget about any fireworks at the plate. Sure, they've smacked 5 triples, hinting at some wheels, but it ain't adding up to runs or a high BOBIP, 277. And let's talk clutch, or the lack thereof. 16 GIDPs say they can't hit when it counts. It's like they're swinging pool noodles instead of bats. Bottom line, this offense is like a stale beer, lacking fizz and leaving a bad aftertaste. How's that for a stat line?
Question 12. How does the pitching staff stack up against divisional and conference competition?
Pitching staff on the ropes. Portland's mounting mound troubles. Alright, listen up, ABL aficionados. Portland's pitching staff is struggling like a fish on a hook. Sporting an ERA of 5.88, they're handing out runs like free samples at a bakery. And let's talk control, or lack thereof, 83 walks. That's a recipe for disaster. Sure, they've tallied 110 Ks, but with a K percent of just 14.1%, they're not exactly setting the world on fire. Opponents are feasting on them with a .299 batting average and a .384 OBP. It's like they're pitching against an all-star team every night. The only silver lining is a decent ground ball rate at 51%, but even that's not saving them. Bottom line, this pitching staff needs a makeover, stat. Any quick fixes for this leaky bullpen?
Question 13. Are the team's fielding statistics a strength or a weakness?
Fielding fumbles, Portland Lumberjacks defensive dilemma. Hey, ABL fans, let's get real about the Portland Lumberjacks fielding. With a zone rating of -2.85, this defense is more Swiss cheese than fortress, holes everywhere, especially at second base, shortstop, center field, and right field. Their defensive efficiency at 0.664? Yikes, that's like failing an open book test. Sure, they've turned 21 double plays, but when you're letting balls zip past you, that's just a drop in the bucket. Outfield assists? 8 total, which sounds good until you realize they're often out of position. And let's talk about controlling the base paths. 35.29% of runners thrown out ain't half bad, but it's not gonna win you any gold gloves either. Bottom line, this defense is underperforming, and in a game of inches, they're missing by miles.
Question 14. What do base running stats say about the team's tactical approach?
Running in circles, Portland Lumberjacks base running blunders. Hey ABL aficionados, let's talk the Portland Lumberjacks and their base running, or should I say, base stumbling. With a 50% stolen base success rate, they're gambling and losing like a tourist at a Vegas craps table. They've got 117 singles and 63 walks, but what's the point if you're stuck window shopping at first base? Their weighted stolen base metric sits at a cringeworthy -1.81, basically telling us they're shooting themselves in the foot every time they take off for second. And get this, only 10 hit by pitches and a measly intentional walk? Opponents are basically saying, go ahead, take first. We dare you to run. Bottom line, folks, the Lumberjacks base running game is a hot mess. They're not just failing to capitalize, they're actively hurting their chances to score.
Question 15. Who are the standout performers in batting, and what do their stats reveal?
A few shining stars in a dark sky, Lumberjacks' best bats. Hey there, ABL diehards. Let's chat about the few glimmers of hope in the Portland Lumberjacks lineup, shall we? First up, Lance Gregg. The man's a hitting savant with a batting average north of 370 and an OPS close to 900. He's the shining star in a rather dim constellation. Then there's Jeremy Campbell, who stands out as the league's all-time home run leader, boasting over 300 career round-trippers. Forget the batting average, his impressive ISO unequivocally marks him as the quintessential power hitter in the ABL. Nick Jones is your solid all-arounder, not great but not bad either. David DeLeon is, well, he's okay. Not exactly knocking anyone's socks off, but he's doing his part. And last but not least, catcher Renaud Busso is holding down the fort with a respectable 250 average and 734 OPS. So there you have it. In a lineup that's more famine than feast, these guys are the ones keeping hope alive. So, are these studs gonna carry the Lumberjacks out of the abyss, or are they just lone wolves howling at the moon?
Question 16. Who are the key figures in the pitching staff, and how do they influence games?
Portland's pitching puzzle, talent, trouble, and teetering totals. Hey there, ABL aficionados. Let's get down to brass tacks about Portland's mountain men. Dave Lamb, the young fireballer, has the lowest ERA but a concerning walk rate that says, hey, I might not be as good as you think. Adam Straight's ERA is a bit deceiving. The guy's got some bad luck, but the underlying numbers say he's better than he looks. David Rodriguez is a riddle wrapped in an enigma, high ERA, but the advanced stats say, don't write me off just yet. And then there's Fernando Borrego, the human torch, lighting up the scoreboard for the other team. The guy's ERA is in the stratosphere, and he's walking batters like he's handing out candy on Halloween. So, there you have it, a mixed bag of promise and peril. You got some young talent, but also some ticking time bombs. Are these the arms that'll lift the Lumberjacks, or are we looking at more of the same struggles?
Question 17. Who excels in base running and fielding, and how do they impact the game's outcome?
The Lumberjacks' silent game changers, speed and leather. Hey there, baseball buffs. Let's talk about the unsung heroes of the Portland Lumberjacks, the speedsters and glove men. On the base running front, Jesus Gago's got jets, stealing bases at a 75% clip. Then there's Lance Gregg, who's not just the team's batting star, but also a speed demon with a perfect stolen base record. Switching to the leather, Nuki Frondarina in left field is the human no-fly zone with a zone rating that screams, don't hit it my way. Then you've got James McShane at third, practically a brick wall with a ZR that's more than respectable. These guys may not make the highlight reels every night, but they're the secret sauce in any close game. How about it? Are these the guys you want in the crunch time or what?
Question 18. What does the team's age demographic reveal about its experience and future potential?
The Portland Lumberjacks, a tale of two generations. Hey, ABL fans, let's talk numbers, but not the ones you're used to. The Lumberjacks' average age in the majors is 28.54 years, a nice mix of young guns and grizzled vets. But hold on, the AAA squad's pushing 30. Could be a farm system traffic jam or just a lot of guys refusing to quit the dream. AA is clocking in younger, especially on the batting side, which could mean some future sluggers are in the pipeline. And let's not forget the single A kids. They're practically still in diapers, especially the pitchers. So, what's it all mean? Portland's got the potential for a bright future, but they also have enough experience to make some noise now. Time's ticking, though. Are the Lumberjacks future-proof, or is it now or never?
Question 19. Who has had the best batting and pitching games, and what do these performances signify for the team?
The peaks of potential, Frondarina and Straight light up the scoreboard. Hey, ABL fans, let's talk fireworks and fizzles. Remember Nuki Frondarina's bat flipping, 5 RBI game against the Nashville Blues? That's the kind of muscle the Lumberjacks need if they're gonna make any noise this season. But it's not just the bats. Adam Straight showed he's got ace potential, hurling a 9-inning gem against the Seattle Comets that would make any pitcher's mom proud. Shame they couldn't get him a run, though. These standout games are like a shot of adrenaline for a team that's been more of a snoozer than a blockbuster. Consistency's the name of the game, folks. If Portland can get more of these peak performances, watch out. Are these flashes of brilliance or signs of things to come?
Question 20. What does your gut tell you about this team in the 1981 championship season and the Grand Tournament of Champions?
Gut check time. Lumberjacks facing a steep climb in 1981. Listen up, ABL aficionados. We've got some soul searching to do about the Portland Lumberjacks. I've been around the diamond a time or two, and the vibes I'm getting? Not so hot. Portland is stumbling more than a rookie rounding third, and the Grand Tournament of Champions? That might as well be a VIP party they ain't got tickets to. The pitching's wobbly, the batting's hit or miss, and that payroll? Looks more like Monopoly money right now. Don't expect a Cinderella story this year unless someone finds a magic wand in the dugout. Is this a miracle turnaround, or is this season a wash?
Question 21. What is the team's history in the Grand Tournament of Champions?
Lumberjacks in G2C, the bridesmaids of the big dance. Oh boy, if you're a Lumberjacks fan, the team's track record in the Grand Tournament of Champions is like a scratched record that you can't get to stop repeating. 4 trips to the dance since '74 and not a single waltz past the Division Championship Series. That's right, folks, they've been the appetizer, never the main course. It's like being invited to the party but having to leave before they cut the cake. Could this be the year they finally break the spell? Or is it gonna be another round of thanks for coming, better luck next year? So, how's that for a stroll down memory lane? What's next on the agenda?
Question 22. What is the team's history in previous seasons?
The Portland Lumberjacks, a roller coaster through the years. The Lumberjacks. You never really know what you're gonna get with this team, do you? They've been yo-yoing like a kid on a sugar high since they were established in '72. 4 playoff runs, but not a single ring to show for it. Started off in a financial hole, but climbed their way out like a Wall Street whiz kid. Their fans are loyal, always showing up, rain or shine, win or lose. But man, their pitching, it's like a bad cup of coffee, bitter and leaving a bad taste in your mouth. This year ain't looking so hot either. So, how's that for a historical overview? What's next?
Question 23. What's your take on last season?
The 1980 Lumberjacks. Close but no cigar. The 80 season for the Lumberjacks, eh? Picture this, you're at a carnival, you toss a ring, and it circles the bottle but doesn't land. That's Portland in 1980, so close, yet miles away. A 79-83 record with a second place finish? That's a pat on the back and a better luck next time. The bats were as cold as yesterday's coffee, and the pitching? Not bad, but not ace material either. The fans still turned up, nearly 1.5 million of them. Bless their hearts. Financially, they were sitting pretty, but money ain't worth much if you ain't winning. So there you have it, a year of almosts and not quites. Is 81 gonna be the breakout year or another chapter in the book of letdowns?
Question 24. How does what happened in the 1980 season reflect on the 1981 early campaign?
1981 Lumberjacks, deja vu or a new tune? Well, folks, it's like waking up to I Got You Babe on the radio and realizing you're in a time loop. 1981 is looking a lot like 1980 for the Lumberjacks. They started this season stumbling out of the gate with a 6-13 record, making you wonder if they even looked at the tape from last year. The bats are still in hibernation, sporting a middling .248 average. But the pitching, oh man, it's like they're serving up meatballs at a spaghetti dinner with that 5.88 ERA. The saving grace? A fat wallet with over $4.8 million in the bank. Maybe they can buy some mojo. And let's tip our caps to the fans, still showing up, still believing. But how much longer will they hang around if the Jumbotron keeps flashing L's instead of W's? What's the game plan? Is this the year they shake off the cobwebs, or is it Groundhog Day all over again?
Question 25. What is your take on the current roster?
1981 Lumberjacks, a mosaic of missteps and maybes. Alright, ABL fans, if you're looking for a team that's got more questions than answers, put your eyes on the 1981 Portland Lumberjacks. They're like a puzzle with a few pieces missing. You can see the picture, but it ain't complete. Starting pitchers Adam Strait and Fernando Borrego are tossing up ERAs that would make a balloon blush. The bullpen's steadier, but not enough to put out the fires. At the plate, we've got a few sparklers like Lance Gregg and Jeremy Campbell, but not enough to light up the 4th of July. And don't even get me started on the injured list. They've got more guys in the medical tent than on the mound. In a nutshell, it's a rocky start for a team that's still scribbling in the margins of their playbook. Could be a long season, or maybe, just maybe, they find the missing pieces. What's the word? Are you seeing a diamond in the rough here, or just rough? Well, there you have it. Your up-close and personal deep dive into the Portland Lumberjacks. We've dissected their strengths, weaknesses, and everything in between. We've peeked into the owner's suite, dug into the dugout, and even scoped out the fans in the bleachers. And let me tell you, what a ride it's been. Like a well-pitched game, we've covered all the bases. But remember, baseball is a game of unpredictability. Just when you think you've got it figured out, it throws you a curveball. The Portland Lumberjacks, a team that's been swinging through the regular season with the inconsistency of a rogue lumberjack, but in the Grand Tournament of Champions, they've often been more like a minor league squad. The question lingers, will they sharpen their axes and carve a path to victory, or are they destined to remain in the shadows of the ABL's towering giants? The Jack's tale is far from over, and the next chapter promises to be a page-turner. Big Earl here, folks. Keep your eyes peeled for future reports as we navigate through the twists and turns of another gripping ABL season. So, whether you're a fan of the Lumberjacks or just love the game, the best is yet to come. Until next time, this is the game. See it for yourself.
Unfortunately, no one can be told what the Matrix is. You have to see it for yourself.
See it for yourself.
How would you know the difference between the dream world and the real world? You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.